I think I got to get those. Yeah. Maybe one.
9 o'clock on Tuesday, March 10th, 2020. Full County Board meeting. Clerk will call the roll, please.
Alt. Bard.
Here.
Behrens.
Present.
Bowman. Bowers.
Here.
Kogenauer. Crow. Curtis.
Here.
Doobie.
Here.
Ducott.
Here.
Hughes.
Here.
Johnson. Here. McGinnis.
Here.
McTaggart.
Here.
Awful.
Here.
Sure.
Yep.
Sticknot.
Here.
Whitlow. Young.
Here.
Zumwalt.
Present.
17 present, yes.
Mrs. Alpha?
Today we have Pastor Ron Bodenschneider from the Adoptee Fellowship Church here in Watsuki. Please start in prayer.
I'd like to read a little bit of scripture and then with a prayer. It won't take very long. Do you not know? Have you not heard? Has it not been told you from the beginning? Have you not understood since the earth was founded? He sits enthroned above the circle of the earth, and its people are like grasshoppers. He stretches out the heavens like a canopy and spreads them out like a tent to live in. He brings princes to naught and reduces the rulers of his world to nothing. No sooner are they planted, no sooner are they sown, no sooner do they take root in the ground than he blows them and they wither, and a whirlwind sweeps them away like chaff. To whom will you compare me? Or who is my equal, says the Holy One. Lift your eyes and look to the heavens. Who created all these? He who brings out the starry host one by one and calls them each by name because of his great power and mighty strength. Not one of them is missing. Why do you say, O Jacob? Or why do you complain? My way is hidden from the Lord. My cause is disregarded by God. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles, and they will run, not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Father in heaven, as we stand before you, the Almighty God, we are so small compared to you. And we can see in the heavens that you are the mighty God. You spoke it into existence. And all the myriads of stars up there, you breathed into existence. And you breathed into us our nostrils, the breath of life. And here we are. So we ask you to be with us. Help us put our hope in you, and that wisdom would reign as we make decisions, and that we recognize that you're the Almighty God, and that through you we can have strength and wisdom. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, on your agenda, there's one change. Number 9 there, Mr. Williams from IMH is not going to be with us this morning. There was a death in his family, so probably at least 10 will be right now being rescheduled for our April meeting. That being said, is there a motion to approve the agenda? Mr. Alt, is there a second? Mr. Hughes, is there any questions about the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Everybody received a copy of the minutes from the February meeting. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Mrs. Awful, is there a second? Mrs. Zumwalt, is there any questions regarding the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passed. Payroll. Is there a motion to approve the payroll? Mr. Duquette, seconded by Mr. Young. Are there any questions regarding the payroll? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Bard,
Yes.
Behrens,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Crowe,
Yes.
Curtis,
Yes.
Doobie,
Yes.
Dukak,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
McTaggart, Awful,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Sticknot, Young,
Yes.
Zumwalt,
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
7-0.
Public comments.
Good morning. My name is John Edwards, and I'm the interim executive director of the East Central Illinois Community Action Agency, and we're located in Danville. And so I come to you this morning. I had written a letter to Chair Ashur, I believe that toward the end of last month, about having a representative from this county board in particular, or from the county staff, or from someone the county board recommends, or at least appoints, to represent their interests on our Community Action Agency Board of Directors. A part of federal law that's a part of the Community Services Block Grant Act requires that our Board of Directors have at least one third of its membership must be local elected officials currently holding office. Toward that end, we have a 15-member board. 4 of the 5 slots are filled, 1/3. And so this county is not represented on our board of directors. It was previously represented by Bob Harwood, who resigned from our board because he was busy in the community or doing work. So we haven't had a member representing this board on our board of directors since, I believe, May of 2019 when he resigned. So the only request that we're making is that you appoint someone representing this board to serve on our board of directors to represent the interests of Iroquois County. So if we can get that done, we can be in compliance with the federal law governed by the Community Services Block Grant Act passed by Congress in the mid-1990s, and that was reauthorized by Congress around 2008. So if we can do that, we would be very much appreciated and in compliance with that federal requirement. And with that, I thank you for your time.
I received your letter yesterday.
Yes.
We will endeavor to get someone appointed by our April meeting, sir.
Great, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next to be chairman comments. About the only thing I would care to bring up or remind everybody about the town hall meeting scheduled for this Thursday evening, March 12th at 6 o'clock at the Trinity Church. It'll be the last meeting relative to the, before the vote on the referendum for the River Conservancy District. So we encourage everybody to attend that meeting and participate accordingly. Do we have any outside organization reports this morning? Seeing none, we'll move on to the committee report. Members of the county board. The committee to whom was referred policy and procedure was begged to submit the following report on the matters before them. The committee met at the Administrative Center on February 27 at 9 a.m. Members present were Sure, All Fault and Stickman. Al Behrens and Michael McTaggart were absent. Also present, Finance Manager Joe Johnson, County Clerk Lisa Fancher, Supervisor of Assessments Bob Yergler, the EMA Director Eric Stacy, Myron Bunning with Compass Insurance, County Board Member Roger Bard, and Wendy Davis with the Times Republic. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by all, and seconded by all to approve the agenda. That motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. The committee chairman gave their monthly reports. Tax and Zoning Chairman Sticknoff reported the Tax and Zoning Committee will hear the standard department head reports. Highway Chairman Alt reported the Highway Committee will receive the monthly claims. Health Chairman Awful reported the Health Committee will hear the standard reports, and the Health Department will have a presentation for the committee regarding communicable disease investigations in the TB program. During chairman comments, Sure noted the AIDA Director Ken Berrigree announced at a recent meeting that he would be stepping down from his position in the near future. The committee will be formed to fill the vacancy. Sure told the committee if they are aware of any individuals interested in the position to please direct them to him or Mr. Berrigree. Sure also commented on the coronavirus and the need to pay close attention to it. EMA Director Eric Stacy spoke to the committee about the virus and explained the coronavirus is a particular strain that originated in China. There have been 80,000 or more confirmed cases, an approximate death rate of 3%. Stacy said there is a higher rate of recovery, but the virus is expected to continue to spread. Transmission occurs through bodily fluids or fecal matter. Stacy stressed that Iroquois County is at a low risk of contracting the virus. Stacy continued that there is no vaccine at this time. It could take up to a year to create one. Sure informed the committee there will be a presentation at the next board meeting by Don Williams from Iroquois Memorial Hospital. Mr. Williams will be updating the board members on what's new at the hospital. Stacy's EMA monthly report included the following events. Attended multiple meetings, which include cities hazard mitigation plan meeting on February 6th, and a town hall meeting concerned the presentation of the flood study. Also attended numerous village and township meetings with Sure to discuss the River Conservancy District. Attended a training held by Marathon Pipeline Company on February 19th. Stacy received a $200 Amazon gift card for his attendance. Stacy said he discussed with Treasurer Kurt Albers the documentation of the gift card. It was agreed that the gift card be used to purchase items for the EMA department. Stacy continues to make progress on the hazard mitigation plan and intends to post a meeting as the next step in the process. Stacy is working on setting up a weather spotter training for March 11 in Crescent City. The contractor has been selected for the iPower system. Upcoming meetings include an LEPC meeting on March 10. AIMA is hosting a statewide flood preparedness meeting on March 4. County Board Chairman John Sure gave an update on flood matters in Iroquois County. The town hall meeting on February 13 was well attended. Another meeting tentatively planned for March 12. On February 18, Sure and Sticknoff attended a meeting in Benton County. During the meeting, they learned that Benton County will be conducting a study of Sugar Creek. Sure also attended a KRBC meeting on February 21 in Knox, Indiana. Their projects are moving along well, and a report was given on Jasper County. They have a project being funded by FEMA to do work on the Kankakee River. Myron Munyon with Compass Insurance reported there have been no updates on sexual harassment training. Munyon provided a proposed drug and alcohol policy for the committee and State's Attorney Jim Devine to review. Correspondence was distributed to the committee. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Sticknall and seconded by Alford to approve the claims subject to county board approval. A roll call vote was taken, that motion carried. During no business, Stacy addressed the committee about the iPause system. Stacy said he has been working on selecting a contractor for the iPause system via webinars with a variety of companies. The Asher Group was selected and several revisions have been made to the contract. State's attorney Jim Devine has reviewed the most recent revision and highly recommends one more change be made to the contract. Stacy said page 4, section 10 reads, Asher and client agree that the laws of the state of Illinois shall govern the terms of this agreement for all purposes, but Asher reserves the right to determine the final venue. Devine's recommendation is to remove the ending of the statement. It was moved by Alt and seconded by Alford to approve the HyperReach Services Agreement subject to the removal of the following statement from paragraph 10. Jurisdiction, Asher reserves the right to determine the final venue. A vote was taken and that motion carried. The Emergency Management Performance Grant, which pays 50% of Stacy's salary and other office expenses, will cover the cost of the iPause system. Stacy will mail the Asher Group with the recommended change. There was no new business. And there was no further business to come before the committee. It was moved by Alford and seconded by Al to adjourn at 9:34 a.m. With a motion carried by a voice vote, all of which respectfully submitted, signed by all members present, and I move for its adoption. Is there a second? Mr. Ticknall, are there any questions or comments about the report, Mrs. Johnson?
Okay, so kudos to Eric for getting the grant for the iPods, but what happens, is that a one-year grant, is that an ongoing grant? What happens after that 6,300, is that gonna be something?
Eric, you can answer that better than I can.
The Emergency Management Performance Grant is a grant that comes down from the federal government, passed through the Illinois Emergency Management Agency. And as long as Iroquois County EMA remains accredited, we will get that every year. It is non-competitive. It covers 50% of eligible costs of preparedness efforts, for which I've been told that mass notification systems such as HyperReach contract is part of that. This is a grant that I have been receiving since I started and pre-recording received before me, so this is a non-competitive grant.
So every year we'll cover this.
Unless the federal government changes their mind.
Are there any other questions or comments? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Barron.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Crowe.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Doobie.
Yes.
Ducat.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Bard.
Yes.
Motion carried 17-0.
Finance Committee, Mr. McTaggart.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, the committee to whom was referred, finance would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on March 5th, 2020 at 9 a.m. Members present were McTaggart, Alt, Bowers, Curtis, Sticknall, Young, and Johnson. Also present, County Board Chairman John Scher, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, Chief Deputy Brian Stuber, Supervisor of Assessment Bob Yergler, Treasurer Kurt Albers, 911 Director Eric Raymond, IDA Director Kim Berry, Myron Munyon with Compass Insurance, and Wendy Davis with Times Republic. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Young and seconded by Johnson to approve the agenda. The motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. Myron Munyon with Compass Insurance gave an update on the sexual harassment training. Senate Bill 75 is now referred to as Public Act 101-0221. The training has been reviewed and meets the legal requirements. This training is at no cost to the county and is offered via online or on-site. Each person that completes the training will receive a certificate of completion. Munyon suggested that the on-site trainings be used to train the majority of the employees and then utilize the online training for continuation. Sherry Johnson suggested setting up a generic email for online training to be used versus personal emails being used. Monday will follow up with Finance Director Jill Johnson for dates. Department heads gave their monthly reports. They're as follows. 911 Director Eric Raymond reported that the new recording system is up and running and there have not been any challenges other than reports that are going to be calibrated. Raymond also made mention of a salary issue that is currently being reviewed. Treasurer Kurt Albers reported the revolving loan payments are being made in a timely manner. IDA Director Ken Berry gave an update on T&D Metal. He read an email he had received which stated that Plant 3 is still not in full production, but continuing progress. Finance Manager Jill Johnson reported the audit process is going well and she expects to have the audit complete in a timely manner this year. There was a discussion held about the pay now claims. County Board Chairman John Scher explained that he was contacted by another county on how we handled those claims. Finance Manager Jill Johnson explained that the list has been in the Finance Center since her time of hire. Jill Johnson also explained that she contacted some of the departments to gain insight as to why the certain vendors are on the list. It was reported that Aramark and credit cards used by the Sheriff's Office were added to avoid late fees. The Health Department explained that vaccinations are included on the list due to a discount being offered for immediate payments, and UPS requires immediate payment. Postage needs to be added to the machine whenever funds run low and we do not have a set payment date. Jill Johnson, Supervisor of Assessments, Auditor and 911 Director Eric Raymond provided input as to what relief is included on the listing. Sherry Johnson shared her experience with another vendor for comparison. Michael McTaggart, Sherry Johnson suggested that there be more information provided on leaf contracts for review. McTaggart suggested that there be more information. McTaggart sure requested more information on the credit cards and suggested contacting Hope Wheeler with Clifton Larson Allen for additional insight. Jill Johnson stated she would obtain the requested information for further discussion on pay now claims. No action was taken at this time. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Holt and seconded by Johnson to pay the claims subject to county board approval. A roll call vote was taken. Motion carried. There was no old business. During new business, Finance Manager Jill Johnson informed the committee that she will be attending a governmental accounting seminar in April. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Bowers and seconded by Young to adjourn at 9:36 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote, all of which is respectfully submitted, and I move for its adoption.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the Finance Committee report, seconded by Mr. Hughes. Are there any questions or comments regarding the report? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Bowers.
Yes.
Crowe.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Doobie.
Yes.
Ducott.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Bard.
Yes.
Barons.
Yes.
Motion carried 17-0.
Management Services, Mr. Barron.
Mr. Chairman and members of the County Board, your committee to whom is referred Management Services and beg leave to submit the following report on matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on March 2nd, 2020 at 9 a.m. Members present were Barron, Alt, Bowers, Zumwalt, Johnson. Kevin Boland was absent. Also present, County Board Chairman John Schuer, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, Maintenance Supervisor Chris Craig, and Wendy Davis with the Times Republic. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Charlie Alt and seconded by John Zumwalt to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. There were no updates on the county farm. Maintenance Supervisor Chris Drake report included all. Jail backflow project is complete as well as the keyless entry system. The dumbwaiter in the jail kitchen is complete. Drake spent a few days replacing some of the piping in the jail. Projects coming up include jail basement and fresh air unit. Heat pumps for volunteer services were repaired, and Drake suggested the next heat pump to be repaired should be the one by the break room. For the USDA contract, carpets and floors, stripping and waxing will be every other year. Drake recommended the carpets be cleaned for the other offices as well. Management Chairman Lyle Barron suggested the offices be put on a rotation for carpet cleaning, and Sherry Johnson suggested the courthouse chairs also be cleaned. Parking lot on the north entrance had some potholes and may need repaired instead of patched. Drake will have someone take a look at it. Snow removal has been done 3 times this month for a total of 9 times this year. Part-time employee has 30 hours so far today. Greg spoke with Corey Cummings with Smart Watt about the audit for the savings report, and it should happen at the end of the summer. Paul Dukoff questioned why precision piping is used rather than thermomobile. Vic explained they are experienced in industrial work and they do emergency repairs quickly. Dukoff did not have suggestions for other local companies Drake could work with. Sherry Johnson discussed USDA improvements and said she met with Bobby Tincher from Hillside Development about conducting a free walkthrough of the building and to plan for the improvements needed for the letter we received. It was moved by Zumwalt, second by Dukoff to accept Bobby Tincher's offer to conduct a walkthrough of the building at no charge. Motion carried by a voice vote. The Head Start lease was discussed, and they have been paying their new rates since January 1. County Board Chairman John Schuer said the only amount in arrears applies to the 4 months prior to January 1. Finance Manager Jill Johnson reported Head Start owes $2,033.92, and Regional Planning Commission owes $1,049.05. It's moved by Sherry Johnson, second by Paul, to give Head Start the following options in regards to their lease. Pay off the amount due in full, pay the difference over the next 9 months of his lease, pay the difference over the 12 months starting January 1, 2021. Vote was taken, motion carried. There were no updates on City of Watseka flooding project. The committee reviewed the claims. It moved by Zumwalt, second by Paul Bowers to pay the claims subject to county board approval. Roll call vote was taken, motion carried. During old business, the committee reviewed the Smart Watt energy savings report. Also during old business, Sure said a phone conference was held with Ed King from Government Capital in regards to the Smart Watt loan. An additional payment was made towards the loan. Yeah, that was old. So.
That's what's left in here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Right. There was no further business to come before the committee. It was moved by Dukoff, second by Zumwalt to adjourn at 9:30 a.m. Motion carried, all of which is respectfully submitted, and I move for its adoption.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the Management Services Committee report. Is there a second? Mr. Bauer. Are there any questions or comments on the report? Mr. Dukas.
Because I was there, but in the opposite, I guess I wasn't there.
Yeah. For some reason,
You don't know if you were there?
That's a fix.
I just ghosted.
Mrs. Crowe?
At the bottom of the first page, it refers to a letter we received. Is that concerning the USDA? I might be a little bit behind. What?
That's from several months back.
Over a year ago, actually. And there was a letter that we have responded to. Mr. Devine responded with a letter 6 months ago, something like that.
It was last summer I responded, and basically my concern was that, a fully negotiated lease was executed back in 2014 for 10 years, and we made a lot of changes to the offices to accommodate their suggestions. So here we are 5 years into this lease, and they are asking us to make all kinds of changes based on an architectural audit. And so I basically said, it's basically unfair to require us to spend thousands of unbudgeted dollars, and that we want to work with them and we want to be in compliance, but we're going to need to further negotiate these changes before we can agree to anything. So we left it at that. That was roughly May of last year that was corresponded, and haven't heard anything since, to my knowledge. Unless you have
No further response.
I recall that. I just didn't know if that was that letter.
Yeah. So in the meantime, Sherry's encountered this gentleman that can make it out of the building at no charge to us, so we will have some information available if and when this again, not
Okay, I have another question.
yes.
So, in regards to the, leases with, the planning commission and Head Start, what's being done, it just refers to the Head Start options, what's the regional planning commission doing?
Well, I'll be attending a meeting down there. I serve on that board down in Champaign. The meeting, I think, is a week from this coming Thursday. And I'm gonna discuss it with the people down there at that time and try and get it straightened out. Is there any other questions or comments? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Crowe,
Yes.
Curtis,
Yes.
Doobie,
Yes.
Dukott, Hughes, Johnson,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
excuse me, and Taggart,
Yes.
Awful,
Yes.
Sure,
Yes.
Sticknot,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Zumwalt,
Yes.
Alt. Did you say yes, John?
Yes.
Barb,
Yes.
Behrens,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
motion carried 17-0.
Okay. Tax Committee, Mr. Sickman.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, the committee to whom you referred tax/zoning would beg leave to submit the following report on matters before them. The committee met at the Administrative Center on March 3rd, 2020 at 9:50 a.m. Members present were Sticknot, Curtis, Awful, Bard, Doobie, and Whitlow. Kevin Cookenauer was absent. Also present, County Board Chairman John Scher, County Clerk Lisa Fancher, Treasurer Kurt Albers, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, Supervisor of Assessments Bob Yergler, and ICPHD Director Dee Shippert. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Jed Whitlow and seconded by Ernie Curtis to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. Excuse me. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Doobie and seconded by Awful to pay the claims subject to county board approval. A roll call was taken, motion carried. There were no public comments. The department heads gave their monthly reports. County Clerk Lisa Fancher reported statements of economic interests are being mailed out. All pre-extension work has been completed for the tax bills. Election judge training will be held Thursday and Friday of this week in Crescent City at the community center. Lastly, Fancher reported that early voting has begun. Treasurer Kurt Albers reported mobile home bills were mailed March 1st and are due May 1st. Albers said the Treasurer's office has received positive responses on taxpayers having the ability to see their tax bills online. Supervisor of Assessments Bob Yergler reported order of review final hearings will start March 9th. The notices will be processed and the final abstract will be sent to the state. Fancher explained the new delinquent tax agent, Joseph Meyer and Associates Incorporated, has sold 2 parcels to the city of Watseka. It was moved by Whitlow and seconded by Curtis to approve the resolutions for the sale of property acquired by the county through the delinquent tax process. A roll call was taken, motion carried. Yergler provided the planning and zoning report for February as follows. Building permits in February of 2020, agriculture, excuse me, agriculture 0, residential 6, wind tower 0, building permits fiscal year 20, residential 11, agriculture 4, wind tower 0, building inspections February 2020, 19. Yergler also reported the proposed cell tower has been withdrawn. There was no old business, there was no new business. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Awful and seconded by Bard to adjourn the meeting at 10:04 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote.
Vote on the report now.
Vote on the report now. Okay. All of which was respectfully submitted and signed by those present, and I move for its adoption.
Motion on the floor to approve the tax zoning report. Is there a second? Mrs. Alpha. Are there any questions or comments regarding the report? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Curtis. Doobie.
Yes.
Ducott.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
McTaggart. Awful.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Bard.
Yes.
Behrens.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
17-0.
Okay, next on your agenda, item number 2 under the tax is the resolution, which is in the back of you have on your packet. It's the last page. There's a whole bunch of papers stapled together. Do I need to read it? Yeah, no, you need to tell us what it's about.
We received this resolution right after our tax committee meeting. This is from the county trustee, Julie Preninger, requested assignment of the above referenced certificate sold for general taxes of 2018 and prior. Payment has been made in full. We have been made tendered for the delinquent taxes, penalties, interest, and costs in the amount of $1,279.29. We have all the checks sitting in my office. They're waiting to be distributed as soon as this just gets approved. So like I said, we just came in right after we had the committee meeting, so rather than sit on it for a month, that's why we want to bring it forward now.
Okay, is there any question or comment regarding what the resolution is about?
So what the taxes are sold to the trustee, and this person bought them from the trustee, so that way all the taxes have been brought up to date on this particular property.
Is there a motion to approve the resolution? Mr. Zumwalt, is there a second? Mr. McTaggart? Are there any further questions or comments? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Doobie.
Yes.
Thank you, Kurt.
Ducott.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
McTaggart. Awful.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Bard.
Yes.
Behrens.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
17-0.
Committee, Mrs. Alford.
Mr. Chairman, members of the county board, the committee to whom was referred health would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on March 3rd, 2020 at 9 a.m. Members present were Awful, Whitlow, Curtis, Bard, and Doobie. Kopenauer was absent. Also present, County Board Chairman John Scher, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, Animal Control Director Dr. Youssef, ICPHD Administrator D. Shippert, ICPHD Director of Nursing Services Vondra Pruitt, EMA Director Eric Specie, County Board Member Marvin Sticknut, and Wendy Davis with the Times Republic. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Jed Whitlow and seconded by Arnie Curtis to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Curtis and seconded by Roger Bard to pay the claims, subject to county board approval. A roll call vote was taken. Motion carried. There were no public comments. Animal Control Director Dr. Youssef gave his report for February, which included 3 picked up dogs and brought to the clinic. There were no vet or cat cases for the month. Dr. Youssef also reported that a local clinic was set up recently giving rabies vaccine, but the animal hospital was not informed. Attempts have been made to contact the clinic. Dr. Youssef stressed the importance of needing to know what type of rabies vaccine was given, and a licensed veterinarian needs to be the one administering the vaccine. ICPHD Administrator D. Shippert reported no changes to the grants and contracts list. Shippert distributed and reviewed the monthly summary report of programs to the committee. Shippert noted there was one coronavirus investigation in Iroquois County. The Iroquois County resident flew from China into a Chicago airport. The person was evaluated, symptom-free, and not held in isolation. However, it is required that they be under investigation and placed on home quarantine for 14 days. The health department evaluated the individual twice each day while they were quarantined. The person remains symptom-free for the 14 days and was released from home quarantine. Shepherd discussed the coronavirus, explaining the virus was found in animals, but was never known to be spread from animal to human. It is typically found in bats and bat delicacy in China. This virus is spread by droplets, but is not airborne. Symptoms of coronavirus are very similar to influenza, such as having a fever, body aches, cough, and congestion. About 80% of people that contract coronavirus will be symptom-free or will have a very mild illness. 17% will have a moderate illness. 3% will have a severe illness and may already have another underlying medical condition. EMA Director Eric Cece reported the United States has 105 confirmed cases of coronavirus, of which 7 have recovered and 6 have passed away. All these fatalities occurred in the state of Washington and were related to a long-term care facility. There are 92 cases remaining. Globally, there are over 90,000 confirmed cases. Cece says the recovery rate has been increasing steadily. The best prevention is to continue to wash your hands, and if you are sick, stay home and do not spread your illness. Shepherd also added that people are most contagious when they are sick, but it is possible to be symptom-free and spread a virus. Lastly, Shepherd informed the committee of Narcan training that were held last month and 2 public speaking events for senior services. There was no old business, there was no new business. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Leanne Doobie, seconded by Bard to adjourn at 9:47 a.m., all of which is respectfully submitted, and I move for its adoption.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the health committee report. Is there a second? Mr. Duquette, are there any questions or comments regarding the report? Mr. McGinnis?
I'd just like to tell everyone that Narcan training is easy to do, okay? I've gone through it last fall, because I'm involved with youth and stuff, but it is extremely easy to do. And if you're involved with people, it might be wise to do it.
Mrs.
And
Shepherd?
he trained me.
I just want to add that you don't need an appointment. You don't have to go. The Park District is very willing to partner with the health department to offer those trainings. But if individuals, if that day doesn't work out for you, you can call the health department anytime, and we can usually get you in within a day or 2. So if anyone wants, to be trained and receive Narcan to take home with them, they can just call the health department.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Duca.
Yes.
Hughes. Johnson.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Short.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Bard.
Yes.
Behrens.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Curtis. Doobie.
Yes.
Okay, judicial and public safety, Mr. Barron.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, your committee to whom is referred judicial and public safety would beg leave to submit the following report on matters before them. Your committee met at the courthouse on March 4, 2020 at 3 p.m. Members present were Behrens, Bard, Hughes, Grove, McGinnis, Duca, and Jed Whitlow were absent. Also present, Sheriff Derek Hagan, Coroner Bill Cheatham, Probation Supervisor Barb King, Judge Mike Stable, State's Attorney Jim Devine, Circuit Clerk Lisa Hines, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, and Wendy Davis with the Planned Republic. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Roger Bard, second by Donna Crowe to approve the agenda. Motion carried by voice vote. There were no public comments. Sheriff Derek Hagan's monthly report for February included patrol had 732 calls for service for the month of February. Year-to-date calls for service, 1,356. Year-to-date last year was 1,356, which is a 0% increase. Booked in 43 prisoners for the month of February. Year-to-date booked in 98, 18% increase over the 83 in 2019. Average daily population in February was 33, year-to-date average population 33. 2019 average was 27, 22% increase. Year-to-date average length of stay 39 days. Overtime in the jail for February was 164 hours on the schedule. Part-time hours 168 for February. Correctional officer graduated from Corrections Academy and passed state certification. 2 new deputies are currently halfway through academy. Ordered 3 new squad cars. Hagan submitted 1 additional claim for approval. Claim included reimbursement for 5 weeks of travel expense to Springfield for Corrections Academy. Hagan noted this expense would be reimbursed back to the sheriff within 6 to 9 months. Coroner Bill Cheatham discussed the usage of the 2 deputies that cover for him when he is off, and they also work 1 weekend each month. Cheatham shared the 2 deputies are being paid out of the coroner's automation fund. Cheatham stated the deputies get $150 for taking a call and $50 for call outs with a maximum of $200 per deputy. Lastly, Cheatham informed the committee the Illinois Coroners Association fee will be raised to $100 and it goes into the automation fund for cremation permits. Probation Supervisor Barb King reviewed the probation and court services activity report for February with the committee. Judge Michael Sable was present due to not having any trials and stated he came to answer questions at the rank from the committee. The State's Attorney Jim Devine and Probation Supervisor Barb King informed the committee the Juvenile Justice Council has the opportunity to reapply for a drug-free communities grant through a partnership between the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy and the Center for Disease Control. It consists of educating our youth about the dangers of substance use and how critical it is to prevent and end the crisis of addiction in America. Drug-free communities are proven effective programs that reduce youth substance use rates in local areas. King said the council applied for this grant last year but was denied. The council has been contacted to apply again this year. King stated they would keep the Tip the Scale campaign, which focuses on alcohol prevention, and would be adding prevention materials discouraging the use of vaping and marijuana. Each campaign will focus on teens and their caregivers. Devine also shared with the committee he attended a conference in Springfield where drug abuse issues were discussed and stated we are low on gun violence scale. Judicial Chairman Barron's inquired about increase in DUIs where marijuana is involved, and Devine stated that there were not. It was moved by Chad McGinnis and seconded by Donna Crowe for the Juvenile Justice Council to apply for the Drug-Free Communities Grant through a partnership between the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy and the Centers for Disease Control, where the county would be fiscal agent for the grant income and expenditures. Motion carried by a voice vote. Circuit Clerk Lisa Hines distributed her monthly report to the committee for their review. A total of $55,314.87 was received in fines and fees. $7,045.94 was received from credit collection partners. $989.71 was received from IGRA. There was no old business, there was no new business. The committee reviewed claims. It was moved by Steve Hughes and seconded by Roger Barr to pay the judicial public safety and subject to county board approval. Roll call vote was taken, motion carried. There was no further business to come before the committee. It was moved by Crowe, seconded by Hughes to adjourn the meeting at 3:30 p.m. Motion carried by a voice vote, all of which was respectfully submitted and moved to adopt.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the judicial report. Is there a second? Mr. Curtis, are there any questions or comments regarding the report? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Hughes. Johnson. McGinnis.
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yep.
Sure.
Yes.
Signon.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt. Bard.
Yes.
Barons.
Yes.
Bowers. Crowe. Curtis.
Yes.
Doobie.
Yes.
Ducott.
Yes.
17-0.
IT Committee, Mr. McTaggart.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, your committee to whom was referred IT will beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on March 5, 2020 at 9:45 a.m. Members present were McTaggart, Young, Bowers, Sure, and Sticknall. Also present, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, Chief Deputy Brianne Suber, Treasurer Kurt Albers, 911 Director Eric Raymond, Supervisor of Assessments Bob Yergler, County Board Member Charlie Olt, and Wendy Davis with the Times Republic. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by John Scher and seconded by Margaret Sticknall to approve the agenda. Motion carried by voice vote. There were no public comments. Discussion was held on upgrading the recorder's office software and server. Chief Deputy Suber reported that the Fiddler server, which was slated to be replaced and now needs to be replaced due to being non-compatible with the new software. Suber stated that the county clerk, Lisa Fancher, is leaning towards using Bastion, a cloud-based option provided by vendor Fiddler. While the option is a little more expensive, it offers better security coverage. Suber added that the recorder's automation fund would cover the costs. Fancher is also continuing to work with Michael Tabor from Area Wide Technologies on utilizing a free service called CrowdStrike, which would be an extra layer of security against cyber attacks. McTaggart suggested obtaining information on the servers currently in use and the possibility of switching out to cloud-based servers as current servers are becoming outdated. 911 Director Eric Raymond had some concerns in cases that the internet service goes down and servers being locally accessible. Other IT issues discussed were as follows. 911 Director Eric Raymond reported on email security issues and asked for some lenience. Finance Manager Jill Johnson informed the committee that due to an attack on another county and results of a recent phishing campaign, the security needed to remain tight. Johnson suggested to Raymond that he inform area-wide of any emails that he would need allowed. Finance Manager Jill Johnson discussed the recent phishing campaign that was customized to entice all county email users. Johnson reported that there were 32 users that opened the email, 25 users that clicked on the link, and 3 that replied to the email. Each individual department was emailed the results, and it was communicated that if the department requested specific usernames, Johnson was to be contacted. She also explained that it is set up for a generic phishing email to go out monthly, and that she plans to send out customized phishing emails occasionally. It was also suggested that the departments utilize the training available. Treasurer Albers informed the committee that the property tax search is online and they are receiving positive feedback. Requested information on a critical items list, licenses and due dates, administrative identification and passwords, and a static diagram are pending as received through email from Michael. As received through an email from Michael Tabor from Area Wide Technologies. There was no old business, there was no new business. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Bowers and seconded by Sticknall to adjourn the meeting at 10:06 a.m. The motion carried by a voice vote, all of which is respectfully submitted, and I move for its adoption.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the IT committee report. Is there a second? Mr. Young. Are there any questions or comments regarding the report? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Johnson. McGinnis.
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful. Sure.
Yes.
Sticknall.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Zumal. Alt. Bard.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Doobie.
Yes.
Ducott.
Yes.
Hughes. Motion carried 7-0.
Highway committee, Mr. Alt.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, your committee to whom it was referred, transportation and highway, to beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. The committee met at the Collect County Highway Building on March 6, 2020 at 9 a.m. Members present were all Young, Hughes, Small, Crow, and Johnson. McGinnis was absent. Also present county engineers Bill Moore, with Wendy Davis with the Times Republic. The meeting was called to order. There was no public comment. It was moved by Donna Crowe and seconded by Steve Hughes to amend the agenda to have approval of the claims. Motion carried by a voice vote. It was moved by Young,
and seconded by Zumwalt to approve the agenda. Motion carried by voice vote. Claims and financial reports for the month were reviewed. It was moved by Hughes and seconded by Zumwalt to pay the bills, subject to county board approval. The roll call vote was taken. Motion carried. County highway, $62,967. County bridge, $1,053. County matching, $0. TBP, $2,868. County MFT, $19,323. Township MFT, $120,257. County engineer Joel Moore requested the vendor Medicom to be added to the approval list of pay now claims. Moore explained financial manager Jill Johnson distributed a recent pay now list, which includes items such as utilities to the department heads for Medicom, but not on the list. Medicom provides phone and internet service for the highway department. It was moved by Young and seconded by Johnson to add Medicom to pay claims list. Motion carried by voice vote. Moore provided information about the state line bridge agreements. There are several state line bridges with Newton County and Benton County that the Federal Highway Administration is requesting new agreements on. Moore said an agreement will be signed upon the signing. Authority should be the county board unless the county board refers Moore to sign agreements. State's Attorney Jim Devine has reviewed and approved the draft. Moore reported a damaged plow wing has been turned on to the insurance company. During the new business, Moore informed committee he will be out of the office next week to attend the construction expo. There was no old business, as there was no further business to come before the committee. It was made by Zumwalt and seconded by Hughes, adjourned at 9:30. Motion carried by roll call. Also, all of those that were correctly submitted, I offer this report for your acceptance.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the highway report. Is there a second? Mr. Curtis, are there any questions or comments regarding the report? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
McGinnis.
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Bard.
Yes.
Behrens.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Doobie.
Yes.
Ducott.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
17-0.
Okay, next on the agenda is approval of claims. Is there a motion to do that? Mr. Duquette, is there a second? Mrs. Awful. You have a list of the claims in front of you. Are there any questions or comments regarding them? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Bard.
Yes.
Behrens.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Doobie.
Yes.
Ducott.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Motion carried 17-0.
Is there any old business to come before the board this morning? Is there any new business? Is there a motion to adjourn? Mr. Duquette, is there a second? Mr. Hughes, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? 1 hour, we're done.
That was the easiest board meeting in